Today we will see soil pollution. First of all, it is important to know that what is the soil. Soil is the thin layer of organic and inorganic material that covers the earth's rocky surface. The organic portion, which is derived from the decaying remains of plants and animals, is concentrated in the dark uppermost top soil. The inorganic portion, made up of rock fragments, was formed over thousands of years by physical and chemical weathering of bedrock. Productive soil are necessary for agriculture to supply the world with sufficient food. Soil pollution is defined as persistent of toxic compounds, chemicals, salts, radioactive materials, or disease-causing agents which have adverse effects on plant growth and animal health. So finally we can say the physical, chemical and biological changes in the soil causes the soil pollution. Seepage from the landfill, discharge of industrial waste into the soil, percolation of contaminated water into the soil, rupture of underground storage tanks, excess application of pesticides, herbicides or fertilizers, solid waste seepage, chemicals like petroleum, hydrocarbons, heavy metals, pesticides and solvents also cause and responsible for soil pollution. A soil pollutant is any factor which deteriorates the quality, texture and mineral content of the soil or which disturb the biological balance of the organic in the soil. Pollution in soil has adverse effect on plant growth. Mainly, soil pollution is caused by the presence of man-made chemicals, applications of pesticides, percolation of contaminated surface water to subsurface strata, oil and fuel dumping, leaching of wastage from landfills or direct discharge of industrial wastes to the soil. The most common chemicals involved are petroleum hydrocarbons, solvents, pesticides, lead and other heavy metals. Occurrence of this phenomenon is correlated with the degree of industrialization and intensities of chemical uses. First of all, the major cause of soil pollution is the use of fertilizers. Soil nutrients are vital for plant growth and development. Plants obtain carbon, hydrogen and oxygen from air and water. All other necessary nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur and more must be obtained from the soil. Farmers generally use fertilizers to correct soil deficiencies. Fertilizers contaminate the soil with impurities which come from the raw materials used for their manufacture. Mixed fertilizers often contain ammonium nitrate, phosphorus as P2O5 and potassium as K2O. For instance, lead, cadmium present in traces in rock phosphates mineral get transferred to superphosphate fertilizer. Since the metals are not degradable, their accumulation in the soil above their toxic levels due to excessive use of phosphate fertilizers becomes an indestructible poison for crops. Fertilizers are very valuable as they replace the soil nutrients used up by plants. The three primary soil nutrients often in short supply are potassium, phosphorus and nitrogen, commonly known as NPK. These are commonly referred to as macronutrients. Certain other elements like boron, zinc and manganese are necessary in extremely small amounts and are known as micronutrients. The nutrients are, as we know, are categorized in the macro and micronutrients. When crops are harvested, a large amount of macronutrients and a small amount of micronutrients are removed with the crops. If the same crop is grown again and again, different level of nutrients can result in decreased yield. These necessary nutrients can be returned to the soil through the application of fertilizers. The overuse of NPK fertilizers for nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium reduce quantity of vegetables, and crop grown on soil over the years. It also reduces the protein content of wheat, maize, grams, etc. grown on that soil. The carbohydrate quality of such crops also get degraded. Excess potassium content in soil decreases vitamin C and carotene content in vegetables and fruits. Vegetables and fruits grown in over-fertilized soil are more prone to attack by insects and disease. Approximately 25% of the world's crop yield is estimated to be directly attributed to the use of chemical fertilizers. The use of chemical fertilizers has increased significantly over the last few decades and is expected to rise even higher. Another cause is use of pesticide, insecticide and herbicides. As we know, the addition to fertilizers, a large amount of pesticides are also used to ensure a good yield. Pesticides can be subdivided into several categories based on the kinds of organisms they are used to control. Insecticides are used to control insect population, while fungicides are used to control unwanted fungal growth. Mice and rats are killed by rodenticides, while plant pests are controlled by herbicides. The first widespread insecticide use began at the end of World War II and included DDT and Gamexine. The full name of DDT is dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane. Insects soon became resistant to DDT, and as the chemical did not decompose readily, it persisted in the environment. Since it was soluble in fat rather than water, it biomagnified up the food chain and disrupted calcium metabolism in birds, causing eggshells to be thin and fragile, and responsible for the decrease in the bird population in that area. As a result, large birds of prey such as the brown pelican, osprey, falcon and eagles became endangered. DDT has been now banned in most Western countries. Ironically, many of them, including USA, still produce DDT for export to other developing nations whose needs outweigh the problems caused by it. The most important pesticides are DDT, BHC, chlorinated hydrocarbons, organophosphates, aldrin, malathion, dieldrin, furodin. The remnant of such pesticide may get adsorbed by the soil particles, which then contaminate root crops grown in that soil. The consumption of such crops causes the pesticides remnant to enter human biological system, affecting them adversely. An infamous herbicide used as a defoliant in the Vietnam War called Agent Orange was eventually banned. It had caused cancer, skin conditions and infertility in soldiers. Pesticides not only bring toxic effect on human and animal but also decrease the fertility of the soil. Some of the pesticides are quite stable and their biodegradation may take weeks and even months. For example, DDT, one of the first synthetic organic insecticide to be used, was thought to be the perfect insecticide. During the last 10 years of its use, DDT is estimated to have saved about 5 million lives, primarily because of it used to control disease carrying mosquitoes. The half-life of DDT varies according to the soil type, temperature, kind of soil organism present and other factors. Another factor which is responsible for soil pollution is the solid waste. Includes garbage, domestic refuse and discarded solid materials such as those from commercial, industrial and agricultural operations. They contain a large amounts of paper, cardboards, plastics, glass, old construction material, packaging material and toxic or otherwise hazardous substances. Municipal wastes mainly include domestic and kitchen wastage, market wastage, hospital wastage, livestock and poultry wastage, slaughterhouse wastage, waste metals, glass and ceramic waste, etc. Non-biodegradable materials like used polythene, carry bags, waste plastic sheets and bottles persist in soil for long periods. More than 90% of hazardous waste is produced by chemical, petroleum, and metal related industries, and small business such as dry cleaners, gas stations contribute as well. Toxic chemicals leached out into soil underneath homes, causing an unusually large number of birth defects, cancers, and respiratory, nervous, and kidney diseases. You see in the diagram, this is the deforestation. Soil erosion occurs when the weathered soil particles are dislodged and carried away by wind or water. Deforestation, agricultural development, temperature extremes, precipitation including acid rain, and human activities contribute to this erosion. Humans speed up this process by construction, mining, cutting of timber, overcropping, and overgrazing. It results in floods and cause soil erosion. Forests and grasslands are an excellent binding material that keeps the soil intact and healthy. They support many habitats and ecosystems, which provide innumerable feeding pathways or food chains to all species. Their loss would threaten food chains and the survival of many species. Soil erosion occurs when the worn out particles are dislodged and passed away by wind or water. Finally, when we see the effects of soil pollution, everything that we consume in order to live is originated from agriculture. Soil being the beginning of a healthy agriculture. Loss of nutrient in the soil, soil erosion, less fertile land for vegetation, reduction in crop yield, and reduction in nitrogen fixation affect our agriculture. When we see the ecosystem, ecological imbalance, permanent change in the chemical properties of soil, alternation in the metabolism of endemic microorganisms, resulting in eradication of the primary food chain, which is interrelated with the existence of each and every organism in the world, including humans. When we see the effect of soil pollution on human, pollution in drinking water, contaminated in vegetation due to presence of chemicals, problems of waste management, polluted environment with harmful gases to breathe in and foul smell, and many health issues. When we see in long term, the pollutants will change the makeup of the soil and the type of microorganism that will live in it. If certain organisms die off in the area, the larger predator animal will also have to move away or die because they have lost their food supply. Thus, it is possible for soil pollution to change whole ecosystem. So, for us, it is challenge to how we can control the soil pollution. So, first of all, we can use biofertilizers to increase agricultural yield. Most farmers use chemical fertilizers. No doubt that the yield did indeed increase, but at the cost of the soil losing its fertility. To restore the fertility of the soil, the farmer should be encouraged to start using biofertilizers. The microorganisms in these fertilizers will help in increasing the soil fertility of soil and also increase the water holding capacity of soil. We can also use biopesticides and fungicides. We can reduce use of toxic waste. We can recycle the waste. Although a lot of propaganda has been carried out about recycling waste, not many measures have been taken about the same. If each family has to take it upon themselves to recycle waste, the land pollution caused due to landfills will be reduced considerably. The land so saved can be used constructively for a number of better tasks. And the last, we can reuse. After plastic was invented, people thought it was convenient to opt for plastic containers, bags, etc., which could be disposed of after use. However, plastic is one of the main cause of soil pollution as it takes a very long time to disintegrate. Therefore, people should consider shifting to reusable containers like glass, cotton bags, etc. So, we can also reforestation and afforestation. Planting tree is the best possible role of human to reduce the risk of soil pollution, and we can also use many method treatment of solid wastage. So it is our responsibility to make a healthy soil for our plant and also for our health.